Have a seat, Joe. You'll have to forgive my sister's bad temper. She was looking at Clark Gable for 4 hours, and then she had to come home and look at me. You know, Joe, I used to be a traveling man, same as you.
No kidding.
Yeah, back when my brother was running the company. Trains were a mess in those days. The windows were open most all year round, and the soot played hell with your cuffs and your collars.
I can imagine.
Well, I think I'm going to go look at these sales figures. I'll see you in the morning.
Yes, sir, Mr. Wright.
Oh, and if you do get gas, for God's sakes, don't let on to your Aunt Boo.
Good night, Uncle Adolph. Can I ask you a question?
Shoot.
How'd you get to Atlanta? Don't tell me you came on a train.
Actually, I drove down. Okay. I was selling mattresses at Macy's, Herald Square, and they offered me assistant bedding buyer at their store in D.C. Then the store across the street asked about assistant manage, and that chain got taken over by Dixie Bedding. One day, your uncle came over, checked us out, and he hired me to work for him. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
Are you people really Jewish?
Afraid so, 100%, all the way back on both sides.
Afraid so.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you mean you're afraid you're Jewish?
Of course not. It's just an expression.
Okay, what do you mean?
I don't really think I meant anything. Can we talk about something else, please?
Sure. Nice Christmas tree.
Thank you.
Old family tradition, is it?
I've been Christmas trees my whole life. That's what you mean.
That's what I mean.
Is there something wrong with
Hey,
it?
I'm just trying to get the lay of the land out. You know, smoke out the local customs.
Everybody I know has a Christmas tree. Doesn't mean we're not Jewish.
Right. It just means you don't want to be.
Whether I want to be or not. I am, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Sure there is. For starters, you could anglicize your name.
Sunny Friday. Sounds like a weather report.
Or a striptease artist.
I could call myself Sandy Houlihan. Everybody around here would still know who I was.
So what?
It hurts sometimes.
I know.
No, I don't think you do.
What do you mean?
I imagine you grew up in a Jewish neighborhood. Everybody was just like you. I grew up on Habersham Road.
Only 2 Jewish mailboxes on Habersham Road, and the other one's down at the tacky end of the street, where it doesn't count.
You've been talking to Lila.
Yeah.
See, that's all we ever really wanted. To be like everybody else.
And you are.
No, we're not.
What do you mean?
For the summer between 6th and 7th grade, my best friend was Benny Alice Sizemore. One day she took me swimming at the Venetian Club pool. Her parents were members. So we were there with a whole bunch of kids from our class. Boys were splashing us, and we were all shrieking, pretending we hated it. When this man in a suit and tie came over and kneeled down by the edge of the pool. And he said, "Which one of you is Sonny Freitag?" And I said I was. And he said I'd get out of the water. Benny Alice asked him why. And he said, Jews weren't allowed to swim in the Venetian Club pool. And all the kids got very quiet. None of them would look at me.
What did you do?
Called up Daddy at the office, and he came down to get me. All the blood was drained out of his lips. I remember that.
And Benny Alice?
Mother called up Mom and apologized. We stayed friends, sort of. We never talked about it, but it was always there. So believe me, I can't hide being Jewish.
So why do you try to camouflage it so much?
Oh, stop it! You think being Jewish means you have to run around with one of those little skull caps and a long white beard?
Not in your case.
I'm being serious.
I guess I think being Jewish means being Jewish.
I wish you could have sat in on my comparative religions class last semester.
What?
Well, Professor Brainerd made so much sense. She believes that all faiths are basically the same, with different window dressings.
Really?
Yes, and I happen to agree with her. I don't think what religion a person happens to be matters that much in the modern day world.
Oh, I think it matters to some pretty important people.
Like who?
Like Hitler.
No fair. Hitler's an aberration. Let's limit the topic to human beings.
What do you say we drop it all together?
Why?
I don't want to spend my first date with a pretty girl talking about Hitler.
This isn't a date.
Not yet.
What do you mean?
If I'm not mistaken, there's a White Castle up there in Buckhead.
There it is.
Well, you hungry?
A little.
Great. Let's a date.
Joe, I just can't go to Buckhead at this hour of the night.
Why not?
Mama wouldn't know where I am.
Leave her a note.
She's asleep.
And what's the difference?
I just don't do things like that.
Like what, eat hamburgers?
I wouldn't feel right. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I know you're probably used to girls who
For what?
take more chances.
You think going out for you tomorrow night would be too big a gamble?
No, I imagine I can handle that.
White Castle and Buckhead?
Sure. Maybe a movie first?
One qualification.
What?
Not going with the wind.
Agreed.
Good first date.
Yes.
And the second one will be even better.
Second one?
Ballyhoo, we made a deal, remember?
GD coffee pot bubbled over, so it's gonna be a while.
It's okay, I better get home and get some sleep.
You two made a deal.
We did,
Joe invited me to go to Ballyhoo.
I see.
but before you commit to this 100%, there's something you should know about me.
What?
Not as Jewish as you are.
What do you mean?
I have royal Russian blood.
What?
Well, there's a story in my family about my grandfather and the Tsar and his grandniece, or was it my grandmother and the Tsar's their cousin?
Oh, really?
Either way, you should know that you're going to the movies tomorrow night with part of a prince.
I'll work on my courtesy.
Yeah, you do that. So how about it?
What?
Ballyhoo.
Sure.
Great. Good night.
Good night.
Do me a favor.
What?
Say my name.
Joe?
I love it.
Well,
What?
he just barged in here in the middle of the night and made me go through all that trouble in the kitchen for nothing.
The coffee and cake was Uncle Adolph's idea.
Anybody brought up right would have known not to accept.
I offered to fix it.
That's not the point.
Oh, what is the point?
He's a very aggressive person,
Fine. Whatever you say.
and I certainly wouldn't be seen at Ballyhoo with him.
Luckily for you, that's a decision you won't have to make.
Meaning what?
Meaning nothing. I'm going to bed.
Not even 24 hours in the house and you already loaded it over me.
I'm not loading it over you. I'm just tired.
Poor Mr. Wellesley. It must be so exhausting to have to deal with this piddling little inferior.
I don't think you're inferior.
Yes, you do. You always have.
This is pointless.
Remember your daddy's funeral?
What?
Uncle Simon's funeral. All those flowers and all those people. 700, I think the newspaper said. Mayor Hartsfield and that congressman. And I don't know who all, remember?
Of course. What about it?
Remember what I wore?
What you wore? Lala, what is wrong with you?
You don't remember. Why should you? Well, I remember what you wore to mine.
What?
My daddy's funeral 3 months later, remember? That sad little bitty chapel with hardly anyone in it. And those pathetic gladiolas in the back of the coffin. It was like a mockery of what your father had. And you wore an adorable navy blue suit, brand new. So were the shoes. The soles weren't even scuffed.
Why would you remember a thing like that?
Because you wanted everyone to look at you.
I did not.
Nobody wears a brand new outfit unless they want to get looked at. That was supposed to be my tragedy. You already had yours and you had to have mine too.
Lala, that is a terrible thing to say.
Well, it's true when you know it.
I know no such thing.
Come on, Sonny. I've always gotten all the attention, even from God.
What?
He didn't give you one Jewish feature, and look at me.
Oh, that's absurd.
Look at my hair. Look at my eyes. Look at my skin. Listen to my voice. I'm trying to try, but no matter what I do, it shows, and there's nothing I can do about it.
I wish you weren't so hard on yourself.
Oh, you know what? You make it worse.
How?
You walked into town for one day and finagle yourself an invitation to Ballyhoo.
Lala, why do you care so much about Ballyhoo?
You care as much as I do.
I do not. I think Ballyhoo's a joke.
And what are you doing?
You want me to stay home?
Yes, you say you don't care, then stay home.
I will.
Good.
Fine. No, I want to go.
I knew it, hypocrite!
You are the biggest wet blanket in the world. No wonder nobody wants to take you to Ballyhoo.
Oh, somebody does.
Oh, really?
Yes, really. And he happens to be part of one of the finest families in the South.
Who is he?
You'll see. You see what happens when you come crawling to Ballyhoo with a pushy New York yeah trying to suck up to his boss, and I come in with someone who belongs there. When I sweep in on the arm of a Louisiana wife.